Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How about you?
Good.
Welcome back to another
Mini Mystery Monday.
You did not listen to my directions at all. I said I want you to say mini and me to say mystery because I don't say the Monday right.
I'm sorry, Mom.
That's okay. Do it again.
Mini
Mystery
Monday.
Perfect.
Good.
And I'm Katie.
And I'm Danny.
And we have a mini mystery for you.
Yay!
Yay! It's nice and short.
I'm really excited for this.
At least 23 minutes.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Yeah, you're really excited for this. And I feel like it could be more mysterious, but that's okay.
Well, like
we're going to have plenty
before.
of, yeah. It's like a cryptid story.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
well, I don't think we've had one, have we?
No, I don't. Well, I mean, we've talked about like a lot of cryptid shit, like aliens and Bigfoot and shit, but we don't really.
Is an alien a cryptid?
I think it might be considered.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's not 100%.
Is it cryptoid or cryptid?
I think it could be either.
Okay.
It's like potato.
Okay.
Maybe. All right. So this is the Loveland Frogman. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
All right, cool. In 1955, Kermit the Frog was introduced to the world by Jim Henson, and in the same year, in Loveland, Ohio, a giant humanoid frog legend was born. Today, a frog is the city of Loveland's mascot, and they're very proud to tell the tale of this mysterious Ohio folklore. Let's get into it.
I'm so excited.
Doing my celebratory Kermit the Frog meme
P. Diddy boat
dance right now. Okay. The Frogman, also known as the Loveland Frogman or Loveland Lizard, is considered a cryptid. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, a cryptid is an animal that has been claimed to exist but never proven to exist. So maybe not an alien, because that's more of like a species,
yeah,
right? Of like, most people know about popular cryptids such as Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, Yeti, Chupacabra, and even the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
But most have never heard of the Loveland Frogman. Wikipedia describes cryptids as animals that cryptozoologists believe may exist somewhere in the wild, but whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated by science. Cryptozoology, for those who are not aware, is a pseudoscience and subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals, particularly those popular in folklore, like the ones I've mentioned above. Ohio is known to be a weird state, with a novel called, quote, Weird Ohio, detailing abandoned places like Helltown, the famous Mothman, ghosts, Bigfoot sightings, and of course, UFO sightings.
I have weird Massachusetts.
You do?
Yes.
Super cool. I think you told me that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Ohio was weird. Like, I didn't know that
Ohio
there's...
is for weirdos.
Yeah, Ohio's for lovers and weirdos.
Don't say that. It's disrespectful.
Sorry about that. There has been a handful of sightings of this creature since 1955, with the most recent documented sighting being as recent as 2016.
Wow.
Not that long ago. All of the sightings have taken place in Claremont County, where Loveland is located, near the Little Miami River or the Loveland Bridge. All witnesses described these creatures the same way, to be bipedal animals, walking using only 2 legs, and standing 4 to 5 feet tall, having thick leathery skin, webbed hands and feet, and lipless wide mouths, With their frog-like faces and deeply wrinkled, hairless heads, these creatures sure provide plenty of shock value and fright for the witnesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like...
Like what? Like, first thing I think of course, is lizard, like reptilian aliens.
That's what I was just going to say. Well, I wasn't going to say reptilian aliens. I was going to say...
Like,
and I'm going to make this claim right here, right now, that I have no, like, political party that I agree to.
Yep.
However, old wrinkly head sounds like Joe Biden.
Okay.
Who people seem to think is a lizard.
Is a lizard.
So,
all right. Where was he in 2016? I want to know. Was he in
trying to get
Ohio?
those Ohio votes.
My God. Okay. The witnesses of the frogman included a businessman, a policeman, a farmer, and a young couple. It was actually 2 policemen. I don't know why I put a policeman. It was 2 policemen on 2 separate occasions. It all started on May 25th, 1955, close to 4 a.m. Robert Hunnicutt was a traveling businessman and was driving down a quiet road that runs beside the Little Miami River in the outskirts of Loveland when he spotted 3 humanoid-like trolls, as he described them, kneeling by the road. He noticed quickly they were reptilian-like with raised skin and frog faces. He claims that they had normal eyes with no brows, but had hair and slender limbs.
Normal eyes like a person?
That's what I assume, but
okay.
Yeah, I agree with you. It must have been normal frog eyes, because a frog with human eyes, that's not normal by any means.
No.
So it had to have been normal frog eyes, I would think.
Okay.
But so yeah, nothing about the eyes struck him as weird.
We need to go to Ohio. I need to see this.
I want to go everywhere we talk about. It's bad. Like, get ready, families. We're taking off. So slender limbs. There are several versions of where the 3 creatures were located. Some say they were kneeling on the bridge. Some say beneath the bridge. But that's the most inconsistent that the versions of the tale get. So really, the witnesses, they all... What? What was I doing?
Under the bridge downtown, we'll show you lizard men.
You gotta put that at the end. Please put that at the end. The businessman's curiosity got the best of him. Thanks for yawning.
Sorry.
This is so boring, isn't it?
No.
I didn't yawn when you were recording.
Oh.
Yours was interesting.
I've had a rough week.
Sorry for calling you out.
It's okay. Nobody had to know.
No, they didn't. Just like, yeah, okay. So the businessman's curiosity got the best of him, and he decided that he had to approach the trio. Robert pulled up beside them and got a good look of them to have his detailed description.
Yeah.
He hung around for nearly 3 minutes and said that the area smelled of a very strong mix of almonds and alfalfa.
What?
I know. How weird. Also, reptiles have a smell.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was expecting. Not almonds and alfalfa. But, hey.
I'm having trouble. I know what alfalfa smells like, and I know what almonds smell like, but
put them together, I know. Yeah, wouldn't be my first choice of a fragrance, that's for sure. So he was totally terrified, and he claims that one of the reptile humanoids approached him, holding a stick-like object and held it above his head. I know, dude. It's like a wand. It's like a magic wand. I love this story. It's a magic wand. A blue glowing flash came from the end of the stick.
What?
And it was sort of like a magic wand, he described. Robert was gone with the wind after that. He took the fuck off. He quickly found himself at the Loveland police office, where he reported his findings to the chief of police, John Fritz. His story was taken surprisingly seriously, and armed deputies were sent out immediately along with FBI agents, starting an investigation. From there, the legend was created. There was complete silence about the frogmen for 17 years, and the community thought that the creatures had disappeared. Until there were 3 more witness accounts in 1972, and suddenly the legend came back to life. The second encounter happened on March 3rd in 1972, when Loveland police officer Ray Shockey was driving around close to 1 a.m. on a cold, icy road near a Totes Boots factory, which was aside the Little Miami River. He at first thought he saw a dog sitting roadside. Concerned for the pup being alone, he slowed down and noticed that it was nothing close to a canine. Its large eyes were glowing in the night by his patrol car's headlights, and the creature rose from its low crouching position and quickly ran in front of his vehicle, blocking the road, both of them still and staring at each other.
What?
Like having a fucking staring contest in the middle of this road at 1 a.m. Until the frog-like creature continued on crossing the road, jumping over a guardrail, and disappeared into the night. Officer Ray was quite shook up and filed a report of his sighting immediately. He described what he saw to be 70 to 75 pounds, 4 feet tall, with thick leathery skin, appearing to be frog or lizard walking on 2 legs.
You might have said it already, but the feet.
Yeah.
What do the feet look like?
Webbed.
Webbed toes.
Mm-hmm. Webbed feet. Webbed toes.
Wow.
Frog feet. Not human feet.
Wow.
Imagine if they wore boots.
Imagine if they wore totes boots.
I was just going to say that. Totes boots. That's why they're hanging out by the factory. That'd be fun. Oh,
Free
man.
advertisement.
Every time we say something, I'm like, that would be a good shirt. Now
Yeah.
I want like a frog man with totes boots on with a UFO.
Yeah.
Okay. Officer Shockey and Mark Matthews, a fellow police officer, went back to try and uncover more evidence to support what Shockey had claimed. All that was discovered was some deep claw marks on the guardrails and in the ground. The third sighting came just 2 weeks later by Officer Mark Matthews. So his friend that went with him to try to uncover more evidence, 2 weeks later, this dude sees him himself.
Okay.
On March 17th, 1972, Matthews was right outside Loveland and saw a large animal lying on the side of the road. Matthews thought that this was just roadkill and decided to move the animal off the road, itself, when the frogman slowly raised up from its initial crouching display, and the unnaturalness of it all spooked Officer Matthews to death. So much that he pulled out his gun and he fired at it.
What?
Yeah. The creature looked the officer straight into his eyes and continued limping towards the guardrail, where he stepped over and escaped into the darkness again. This is like their
What,
thing.
did he miss or something?
I think he hit it. So the frogman had been injured, but he got away, and the officer was hoping that he would succumb to his injury in the wild and fall dead somewhere, and they were going to find him, but they never found him. Later on that March, still in 1972, the 4th sighting was documented. A farmer whose name I could not find was tending to his fields adjacent to the Little Miami River and was shocked to see 4 creatures he automatically presumed were Loveland Frogmen. At this point, it's a story, He described them as having very large circular eyes with pale green skin and wide mouths that were full of sharp teeth. It was a very quick encounter, but the farmer insisted he was not imagining it, and he got a very good look at them before they noticed him and ran into the river, sinking to safety. Gross. In 2001, the now retired Officer Matthews wrote about his 1972 encounter in an email interview. So this is like years later. Like, we're talking like 30 years later. He writes about this in an interview. He says he retracted his previous statement and his reportings completely. He claimed there is absolutely, and this is his quote, there is absolutely no truth to the incident that relates to monsters or the paranormal. This entire thing has been habitually blown out of proportion. It was and is no monster. It was not leathery or had matted fur, It was not 3 to 5 feet tall. It did not stand erect. The animal I saw was obviously some type of lizard that someone had as a pet that either got too large for its aquarium or escaped by accident, or they simply got tired of it. It was less than 3 feet in length and ran across the road and was probably blinded by my headlights. It presented no aggressive action. So this is like a total 360 on what he originally reported. And he went out with his partner to find evidence for the same thing that, he saw. Yeah. So it's like and he is so descriptive. Like, I don't know about you, but it seems like his retraction of the details are just almost too specific. Yeah, like he goes over every single thing he said and it's weird. It's almost like he had to explain every original claim and make it known to the public that there was a better explanation for every single detail that he first reported. It's
almost like he's trying to say that it did happen by saying it didn't in such specifics.
Almost, yeah. Yeah. Like makes you wonder more, makes you think into it more. So my question is though, why, if it was such an innocent pet that showed no threat, why the hell did he shoot at it?
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Why would you shoot 3 feet's pretty damn big for a lizard. Yeah. But I know they get that big.
It happens. Yeah. But like why 30 years later do you feel the need to retract this anyway? Right. What was the community like ridiculing him? Was he, I don't know. Was he being forced by maybe government officials?
Fake news.
But a lot of people believed that he was being forced to cover up his story. Yeah. A lot of people didn't buy his recantation. Some of the community took the officer's words as a relief, but many didn't buy it. His statement clearly did not settle the mystery of the many other sightings. Right. The final and fifth sighting of the famous frogman took place on August 3rd in 2016 by Sam Jacobs and his unnamed girlfriend. Sorry, girlfriend, you weren't important enough to be named.
Maybe sad. She didn't want to.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true, actually. She's probably smart for that. Yeah. Sam and his girl were enjoying the new game Pokemon Go on their cell phone, and they were exploring the area hoping to capture some rare Pokemon.
They did.
What is it? I'm trying to think of one that's a lizard. I mean, there's none really. Well, there is.
There probably is.
Mewtwo. It's Mewtwo.
I think Pokemon's post my time, even though I know a lot of people my age are into it. But
well, it was a big thing when we were young, but you just weren't into it.
I feel like I was too old for it. Like my little cousins were into it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Who knows? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. We had Pogs.
I had Pogs.
Pogs were the shit.
I was into Pogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I wish I still had my Pogs.
I know.
So cool.
I had such cool ones.
Imagine if we still both had our Pogs.
Yeah, this would be a podcast. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Okay. So they were looking for their rare Pokemon between Madeira Road and Lake Isabella in Loveland. The young couple saw a very strange creature in the water of a nearby river. Sam said, quote, "We saw a huge frog near the water, not in the game. This was an actual giant frog. Then the thing stood up and walked on its hind legs. I realize this sounds crazy, but I swear on my grandmother's grave this is the truth. Not sure if it was a frogman or just a giant frog. Either way, though, I've never seen anything like it." A video was taken of something standing waist deep in the water with large glowing eyes, but the footage is grainy and dark, and it's proved hard to make out. Right. But there is footage of it.
Wow.
The couple were adamant this must have been Frogman. When Officer Matthews got word of the couple's story, he decided he needed to add more details publicly to his retraction from 2001. So we're talking 15 more years later. Matthews just does not give up here. Mm-hmm. He's gonna retract more details and make it even more clear. So he went on to contact WCPO News in Cincinnati, He made it very clear to anyone who was listening that he was certain that the creature that he and Officer Shockey saw in 1972 was just a large iguana. Mm-hmm. Now he's even given it a specific species. Like, he's calling it iguana for sure. He's sure of it. Yeah. He said that he actually shot it as proof of his encounter and brought it back to show Shockey and confirm it was in fact what his buddy saw, to which he claims that Shockey agreed. Come on. If that really happened, none of this would have happened. Like, he went to the police station, he filed his report. It included nothing to do with this at all.
And admitted at that time that he shot at it.
Yeah, he shot at it and it got away. And now he's literally telling everybody that he shot it as proof to bring back to Shockey, for Shockey to be like, yes, that's absolutely what I saw. When both of them originally claimed these were like humanoid frog creatures on two legs.
And what year was this?
Originally, or
when
right
he
now?
Shot at it.
Back in 1972.
Were police allowed to just shoot innocent animals?
I think it was a threat to him when he shot it, but he claims it wasn't now. So, yeah. But this is 2016 and he's admitting this.
So he says he had?
Yeah, he brought it back. He shot it and he brought it back to confirm. That's what Shockey saw. Like, he solved the mystery. It would have never blown up like it did if that was the case. It would have been...
That's just cruel.
Yeah.
To shoot at
a lizard, an iguana. An innocent little pet that posed no threat. I don't buy it. I'm sorry.
Just to prove his friend wrong?
No,
his colleague wrong?
No, to prove that's what his colleague saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's trying to make it sound like they both knew it was an iguana the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah. Matthews gave more details, saying that the lizard was 3 to 3.5 feet long and had a missing tail, which is why he claimed he was confused when he first saw it and he couldn't recognize what it was. Like, he just keeps coming up with all these explanations and details. Matthews reconfirmed it was absolutely just someone's pet that escaped. He figured the reptile was spotted twice at this location due to the large pipes from the Totes Boots factory, and they must have provided a heat source for the creature.
Or it could be like Blinky the fish in The Simpsons, that it's like a three-eyed fish that lives next to the plant.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, maybe they live there. Like, that's their home.
Or that if it is a frogman.
Yeah.
It's like
a
chemical type spill
thing. Yeah.
Like Alex Mack.
Yeah. Or if we're going to get even further, like, what if it was an experiment, like a mix of a man and a frog to see what would happen.
Because the Jersey Devil is seen a lot near an old dynamite factory or dynamite area or something.
Huh.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be a reason that they're only spotted in this one area.
Yeah.
Because there's no accounts of it anywhere else around. So, at least that we know of, at least that have been documented.
Weird. Maybe they're dumping toxic shit into the water.
Totes.
I don't know if we can say that. We said maybe.
Yeah.
We didn't say that they
You can cut that out.
I have no idea.
You can cut that out.
No,
if you want to be
still think
safe.
it's a plausible theory. Like, any factory, anywhere.
Yeah. Totally, yeah. The Loveland lizard, or frogman, wasn't the only monster seen in the area. Get this story, okay? Just 100 miles from Loveland, at Charles Mills Lake in central Ohio, 3 teenagers were hanging out by the lake playing in the shore. Their names were Denny Patterson, Wayne Armstrong, and Michael Lane. A 7-foot-tall, armless monster humanoid emerged from the lake. It had luminous green eyes and large webbed feet. The teens ran away and reported their experience to police. But more than 1 century earlier, the Crossway monster was reported just 20 miles north of Loveland in Warren County. May of 1882, this is a crazy story, 13 and 11-year-old brothers Ed and Joe Lynch were out enjoying fishing in a stream that passes through the Crossway when a loud and unnatural sound was heard coming from behind them, from some very tall grass. The brothers were curious and approached the area when they noticed a huge 4-legged lizard had sprung from the tall grass and ran at them. The creature actually made contact with Ed, biting onto him and dragging him to the ground. Terrified, both brothers were screaming for help, and Ed was now being dragged across the very stream that they had been playing in to a large hollowed-out sycamore tree, which was determined to be its den, the creature's den.
Oh.
3 men nearby heard the kids' screams and arrived at the scene to help. By this point, Ed's body was almost completely inside of the tree hole. The men grabbed him, and the creature dropped Ed as it climbed up into the hollowed tree. The men frantically called onto the community and had 60 villagers rush to the scene to aid in destroying the monster. But after chasing it for miles and miles over fences and through streams, around trees, no one was able to succeed in their efforts. The 60-plus men described the creature to be about 30 to 40 feet long, but could stand up to 12 to 14 feet tall. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, because if it's standing, like on all fours,
right.
It was 12 feet tall.
Right. Its body was described to be about 16 inches in diameter with a 16-inch wide head, but had legs as long as 4 feet long. The many witnesses described it to be covered with black and white scales and large yellow spots and had a long fork-like tongue with a deep red mouth. This creature was never reported to be seen again.
But 60 people saw it.
60 witnesses to that. Yeah. The Loveland Frogman is celebrated by its city as its mascot. And recently, just this year, on March 4th of 2023, Cincinnati held a Frogman Festival. And afterwards, for the after party, Cartridge Brewery debuted their Frogman IPA, limited time only.
Wow.
In May 2014, the Loveland Frog was made into a musical titled Hot Damn, It's the Loveland Frog.
No thanks.
Yeah, no thanks. And in 2019, an artist named Dog Died created a song, Hot Damn, I'm the Loveland Frog. I find the song to be quite eerie, and I think it'd be cool if we could play it after our outro.
Yeah.
Like, stick around after our outro, and we'll put the song in.
Okay.
So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. So what do you think of the Frogman legend? We want to know, are there enough eyewitness testimonies for you to believe? Or does the policeman retracting his original point and his original report and giving plausible explanation settle the mystery of this 6-decade-long legend for you? Not me. Doesn't settle it for me. I don't know what to think of it, but I don't think that it was just an iguana.
Yeah.
I mean, people were freaked out enough to report it to police.
Right.
It's not an iguana. Even if you're seeing an iguana in Ohio, yeah, that's weird, but it's not a threat, and it's not something to go to the police about. There was a lot of police reports.
Yeah. For our listeners, if you've never seen the YouTube video called Mother Ocean, I highly recommend that. Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's about this couple from Fall River that were swimming in Rhode Island at a beach, and they saw what they thought was a sea monster, but the entire news story is hilarious. Like, just the people in it and like the story they tell that they tell is like ridiculous. But I think they saw a lamprey. Have you ever seen one of those?
No, but I think I might have seen what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I remember now that you've described it. I am going to still look it up again.
Yeah, it's really funny.
But no, what's a lamprey?
I think it's I don't know if I'm saying it right, but lamprey, it's a fish with like a wide head. Mm-hmm. It's almost serpent looking. Yeah. And it's got like layers of teeth. Kind of? Yeah. And it's got like layers of teeth through its mouth. Creepy. So the way that they were describing it, they were like really upset and crying and stuff. Oh man. But
like a Loch Ness monster. Yeah. You know?
And it said that it like they were just so dramatic. I'm not going to do it justice. That's hilarious. But yeah, it's so good. It is so good. That's Mother Ocean.
Would you look at it?
Yeah. Just look at it.
Just look at it. So yeah, that's interesting. Definitely check that out. That'll be fun.
But where I was going with that is that, like, usually when you're disturbed by something, even if there's another explanation, you're not making it up. Usually you recall exactly what you saw.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you don't shoot at an innocent little lizard that's posing no threat and not standing up on two legs. Like, the whole two-leg thing was mentioned by everybody.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that's not an iguana.
I wanted to save it for the Bridgewater Triangle episode, but my parents swear they saw the Hockomock monster.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
They were driving on Route 18 in Whitman, like, late at night, and there was somebody in between a couple houses, and it was standing, it looked like a lion, like it had a mane, and it was standing on two legs, and it was huge, and it was like running. Yeah.
That is insane.
Crazy, right? So
cool. I love that story.
Yeah. It's a good one.
That is a good one.
I can't wait to do the Bridgewater Triangle.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is a lot. Especially because we have access to, it's our backyard, literally.
All right. Well, that was the Loveland frog. If you want to Google images of it, it looks like a humanoid frog on two legs. Again, this is just, what people are imagining it to look like with the description. But I did see one actual shot from those two, that teenage couple with the Pokemon Go, and it was in the water. And like I said, it's really grainy and dark, so it's hard to see. But nonetheless, it was creepy AF. So,
I can't wait to watch it.
If you can just imagine a frog standing on two legs.
What about the fact that he had a freaking wand? Like,
yeah, that is something else. Like,
he's a wizard frog.
That was the businessman, the first sighting. Like, I know. And I want to know why, I want to know why not every single time the frogs were saw, they had wizard wands. I really want to know why. So interesting. Like, what was it doing?
And a frog is not an iguana.
No.
They're very different.
So different. Like, that's why it's known as the frogman or the lizard. But like, it was clearly a frog.
Yeah.
From what everybody said. I mean, reptilian, but it had frog features.
Yeah.
So that's pretty, like, prominent features of a frog.
Right.
So yeah.
We love our frogs.
We do. We have a little thing, me and Danny, about frogs. That's why you see our little frog on the logo with the planet.
Yeah. If you look really closely, there's a little tiny froggy there.
Yeah. He's special.
It represents our beautiful friendship.
All right. Thanks for listening to the mini. We will see you soon. Stay mysterious.
skin's peeling, and you want to do me wrong. You'll wreak havoc, and I receive